seen the series?
What series? Oh.
Sorry. The Demon Hunters.
Oh,
Sorry,
dear.
I'm sure you were too busy in your new job, right? And so you've just made headlines by leaving WebBeds, where you helped drive its global expansion over 8 years to join competitor Dida. So why this move and why now?
Well, I'm sure many would think it's unexpected, and there are not that many reasons. The key thing for me, I guess there's professional and personal, but let's just talk a little bit about professional. So Dida is not really a competitor. It's been a really good client of WebBeds for a long, long time at my old firm. And one of the things that I guess inspires me a lot is how fast they grow and how well they do. And so from a sort of outsider perspective, it puzzles me greatly while I have, first-hand and understanding their speed to market, their vision, and so on. It's always admirable to see the performance that they have. I'll give you an example because all this sounds all cliche and boring. I remember meeting them at a trade show and talking about how do we do more business together, and then the commercial guys were having a bit of a chat about what can we do better. And then he wasn't a tech guy, he was a revenue guy who ripped out his laptop at a trade show with really poor Wi-Fi. And he just made some changes based on the conversation. It's done. It's something that we would never imagine in a multinational corporate, public company. You got to go into first. It has to go to product. They have to map it out.
Yeah.
The full works, right? It goes
Yeah.
into the queue, and then you think about test environment and so on. It takes forever. These guys did it in 5 minutes at a trade show, and business started to grow like from then on, that very moment. So great admiration, and I guess that transition from being on the outside and now hoping to be able to be part of that evolution is what I guess drives that move.
Yeah, and I've personally met Rikin, who's the Teochew entrepreneur. He's very proud of his Teochew roots because the best entrepreneurs come from Teochew back roots,
Yep.
right? And he's the dynamo. So how did he convince you? Was it money or charm?
Why would you think that is one way and not the other? Why do you not think that I tried to convince him?
So what's the real story?
Well, he used this phrase a lot, but it actually came from me. We say, China is really big, but the world is bigger. I'm sure you've heard him say that many
Yes.
times. And I think it got him thinking for quite a while. We had this conversation for some time, and his aspirations grew bigger as the company became more successful, and there was a point in time where we said, why do you come over and help us do what you say, because we got to get out of China. So I said, how it all happened. And he's been very generous, if you want to ask.
So money, okay. All right.
Let's not go there.
All right. So now let's zoom out into the wider B2B space, which is a space that you've been operating in for a long time. Let's go to the audience first, okay? And I'm going to ask the audience, will AI strengthen or weaken intermediaries, okay? Not just Dida, but just intermediaries. So let's see what the audience says, and what do you think? So is it strengthen, weaken, or is it same? What do you think?
Me? I have to say strengthen, but then that would be the politically correct answer. My sense is it's not going to be uniform. It's not going to apply to every single B2B player or every intermediary. It depends on your adoption. It depends on your view about what AI is going to do. And great. The world thinks it's going to weaken.
Yeah, no, but
Maybe not.
It's moving. Okay. So you say it depends on it's not uniform. So it's like distribution, right? I think William Gibson said that the future is already here, but it's not evenly distributed.
Yep.
So disruption is not going to be evenly distributed.
Well, look,
so
B2B is not the same, right? If you think
Yeah.
about all the players out there, not everyone is built on tech.
Right.
Not everyone's built on, I guess, the processes. A lot of our business is still built on relationship to a large extent. So it depends on where you think your business is going to grow and what you're going to do. And AI, many of you would agree, is not the cheapest thing that you would be able to do.
Right. So what qualities would intermediaries have to take on in the next few years to be strengthened in this age?
I think you need
to get stronger.
Take a step back and try to understand what the B2B world is trying to solve for. If you rationalize the role that we play, the value proposition that we have within our core ecosystem, there's obviously the supply and there's the demand. And we're not just talking hotels, right? We also do air and so on. And we also have partners that provide supply. And then you have the distribution, the sales, your clients. The role that we play are really just two. Bridge the gap of disparity in information, in content, and the difficult task of fulfillment. You know, someone just told me, I think it was Chi Chong who told me that everyone wants to get into travel, but no one wants to do fulfillment. And I guess to a large extent, that's the reality. And that's why B2B exists for a long, long time. Do the things that people either cannot do not want to do, or just haven't got a clue how to do it. And B2B has evolved over time. Many played on either providing you the reach or providing you the match or the transact. Right? You try and match supply and demand, you try and match product to demand and so on, and then you help with fulfillment. Yeah.
Okay. All right, so it's interesting with that poll, you know, what is clear is no one believes that it will be the same.
I don't think it'll be the same.
Yeah, so we're really at a moment of, I mean, this is what we've heard all day, is like, this is a moment of reckoning, monster change coming, right? So in the last panel, I think Tim talked about, you know, AI as a fintech enabler, right? Fraud projection, analyst, and then inside-out view on what AI can do for fintech. So you are going all in on AI, I know that, right? So how is AI being adopted in the B2B travel space today? And what use cases do you think will make the biggest impact, right? So will it be contracting automation? Will it be smarter pricing? Will it be personalization for agents? Or will it be fraud detection? Which is the biggest impact?
Well, I look at it from a slightly different perspective. We think a lot about what will change. And then we realize it's not the direction that we should be thinking. We should really be thinking what will not change.
Right.
And the only thing we can think of is, at least for the foreseeable future, the bed within a hotel will not change. And so therefore, in theory, the hotel will still exist, at least as a business. And then we look at it as, oh, all right, everything else is likely to change, whether, you know, is Omri talking about disrupting itself in an OTA space or the tour operators, the TMCs and so on. But the hotel space, at least the bed will not change. But everything else within the hotel business model is likely to change. And what help can we provide to them? So I give you an example. As we, you know, I think tomorrow there's the social media, TikTok and so on, but a lot of people are trying to get into travel. Social media is obviously at the forefront. And even if we talk about AI search, the way the people will try and go on their trip discovery will be different. And hotels who obviously have not got the resources, the know-how to be able to put itself in front of this new way of searching would struggle. And as I said, the B2B business has always been about helping our partners do the stuff that they cannot do not want to do, or haven't got a clue. And in this instance, we reckon helping the hotels to understand how AI will change the way people discover them will be interesting.
So demand generation then?
Not just demand generation. I give you a really quick example of what we do now. AIGC, right, generating content, has really propelled how people market themselves on social media. KOLs are looking at or using a lot of different tools to try and generate content. Hotel marketing has always been one of the departments that are, you know, I would call it maybe a bit more of a subset, especially if you're an independent hotel, of the broader business model. And how do we empower some of them to help bring themselves forward again? Like,
So you want to help them reach new customers.
New customers, or for that matter, help them to be able to market themselves better. Let me take this concept slightly differently. If we imagine everyone is going to have, someone said on their phones, AI agents. How's the AI agent who knows you better than anybody else decide where you should be staying, or at least recommend where you should be staying? It would have to search. But what it can find about the hotels will depend on what the hotels say about themselves and what others say about them. Something that you would have to try to understand and manage. Do you have a health check on what everyone is saying about you on social media? Not just on TripAdvisor, but increasingly on video, which no one can watch a million videos about your hotel for that matter, find them. Mm-hmm. And that gap is something that you need to understand. If you have a view of what people are saying about you, you can do something about it. If you don't even know what people are saying about you, then that's going to be disastrous.
So where you see is discovery or demand generation. I mean, you're basically helping the hoteliers to
better market itself.
Yeah, better market themselves. So that takes you B2B to C. Mm-hmm. What others do you feel that AI could make good use cases for? Is it contracting information? Is it smarter pricing? What are you doubling on?
No, I thought I speak to our CIO, and he's with typical of all CIOs, they will tell you is customer service, is finance, is all the back office stuff. Mm-hmm. But increasingly, that you don't even need to do it yourself. There are loads and loads of people who can help you with tools, whether it's AI plus or plus AI, in helping you to gain greater efficiency. And if you think about it, we're in China. China has the greatest in terms of, or has a relentless pursuit of cost cutting. The innovation in AI in China is a lot to do with how do you adopt cost productivity. Right? So that's not, I think, directionally what, at least from our perspective, B2B should be going after. It should be thinking about how do you empower your supply and your demand to a large extent and continue to play the role of matching.
Right. So you see AI not as cost cutting, which is what you say, that there's...
Because we want to...
Okay, it's
not something you should do
So it's
yourself.
About getting the customer experience to be better for your partners. So you are investing in
play that role, right? You think about it. The distribution, the OTAs and so on, they are focused on acquiring the customer. I believe the hotels will continue to think about what makes great sense in the guest experience and ensuring that they appreciate what they have booked. And everything in the middle is what the B2B players can do.
Okay, so they should focus on the guest experience and leave...
I would think so.
All right, yeah. Okay. So you spent obviously a lot of time in China getting ready for this role. What have you seen in China, that has... I mean, first you talked about the speed or, that first moment of truth when you saw how fast it was. What have you seen in China recently in terms of innovation that you feel, wow, like so ahead? How can it come out into the, this region, for example?
So we spend a lot of time talking and visiting prospective partners, all the people who are ahead in AI. And I think from the outside world, everyone talks about DeepSeek and so on. There are lots and lots of DeepSeeks in China, just in case you're wondering. But it's not the software side of things that inspires us. It's the robotics, the equipment, the sort of hardware stuff that truly inspires. I was in Shanghai and I saw someone do a demo. It's robotics doing a shave on the face. And I said, you need to really have a lot of courage to trust the robotics that you have built. So I think the future that a lot of the businesses are thinking about from an AI perspective in China is to take what they have built in models and deep learning and putting it into day-to-day life applications.
I'm also fascinated by low-altitude tourism that's really taking off in China. Low-altitude tourism, like drone flights, and have you seen any
the drones
of that?
and all that stuff?
Yeah.
Well, nothing surprises you after a while, right?
All right. Okay. So let's move back to the conversation to B2B. And I'm going to ask the audience, like, what are the toughest challenges? Since we say, it's not going to be the same. What are the toughest challenges? Is it suppliers building stronger direct? Is it B2C players? Is it lack of trust? Is it access to? What would you pick from that?
I think the difficult one is access to contextual data. We spend a lot of time thinking about in the future when the individual traveler has everyone has their own AI agents, right? In theory. And everyone has different preferences. That context of what is good for me but not so great for you, my preference of the typical I want to be on the high floor may not be the same as somebody else, and so on and so forth. How do you make sense of that contextual data such that first you acquire that data, and second, you pass that on to your hotel partners? And that's, I think, going to be the most difficult part for B2B players.
Yeah, that's really interesting, because just now you said, it's important to look at what will not change in B2B. And Filipov actually gave a speech that was all about that, like what will not change in travel. And one of the things that he said too is trust has come up a lot. Trust is earned by the one who creates it with data. That uses data well to create trust with your customers. So clearly, the audience agrees with you. So from your perspective, what does the future look like for B2B in travel? Like, do you want more trust from hoteliers who are concerned about rate leakage, who still feel they're overpaying for distribution? Like, what is your wish list?
I have a slightly contrarian view about rate parity, and I'm not saying that is wrong. I actually think it will eventually, the hoteliers will have their dream and it will happen, and there will be pure rate parity across all channels, because it will be so difficult to play that game of not having one rate, because that's the only rate that will matter to hotels, and I think there's a lot of leadership on that. So if you think about what the B2B space can do, it will be the differentiation of all the things that I've spoken about in terms of whether you can facilitate and value add, whether it's contextual data, or continue to help partners improve or navigate that fragmentation that we see. I call it the fragmentation tax, because the moment it is not a homogeneous, there's disparity in there are other who spoke about different platforms and so on. And there will never be just one player anywhere in the world. Therefore, there will be fragmentation. And the data will be the biggest fragmentation.
So basically, for you, you see adding difference and value to Dida by really getting that access to contextual data, and then helping your customers reach new customers through demand generation, right? And then doing everything. Okay, well. All right, so let's talk about the $1 million question, which is the next 20. Do you think B2B will still exist by 2045?
Well, the GDS, like you said, will survive 60 years. I hope B2B will survive the next 60 years. I'm day 3 in the job. I sure look forward to a lot more time, but one thing's for sure, it's not going to look the same. Just like the GDS, right? There used to be so many of them. Now, there are arguably 3. And I think there will be consolidation, and there will be evolution. Maybe not so much a revolution, but there will be evolution in how players will become.
Well, you're definitely, leading Dida at the right time. It's an exciting time. You definitely have your work cut out for you, because Rikin, he's a nice guy, but I think he's tough.
I'll find out.
All right, so let's go rapid fire. One legacy system you wish you could erase forever.
I will offend all the channel managers, but I don't think there's value in that in future.
Channel managers, okay, all right. If you could time travel to 2045, where's the first place you'd go to?
I know it sounds weird, but I like to go to Hangzhou, look at what Alibaba has done. They've just said they will spend 70 billion. To me, that's a lot of money on AI. It's all in AI.
70 billion on AI.
Yeah.
Okay.
And is where it's home, right? There's an Ali village and so on, Ali town. Let's see how that looks like in 20 years' time.
Okay, how much is Dida spending on AI?
Good question. I don't know. We have an
You're the
all-in
group
airline
CEO.
philosophy. Day 3, we're doing our budgets to 2026. Internally, we say there is no expense spared. So I hope that means something.
All right. Please join me in thanking Daryl and congratulating
Thank
him
you.
on his new role. Thank you so much, Daryl.
Thank you.
Thank
All
you.
right.
For the next 2 hours.